Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 this Thursday, October 9th. And we are looking at the market, which is pretty much held support. I was concerned for a while there, but support held. And we are pretty much just sitting, twisting in the wind right now, sitting in a range. So this morning we started off on the long side. We're looking to buy weakness. They didn't happen at all. They just kind of took that out, ran it all the way down to the low of yesterday's day session, and that held. So 67, 60, 65 held. A little bit lower than you wanted to take it, but they never got down to these lows to challenge the lower end of the range. So we are, yes, back in the range, twisting in the wind, and that's how we're going to get started going into the overnight. So range bound going into the overnight, look to sell strength by weakness fairly equally, and let's see how this whole thing fares tomorrow. So looking to sell strength, 67, 85, 95. Above that one, I would probably start leaning in on the long side. Looking to buy weakness against the 6260s. No, this is 65s. And they have 57 to 6 or 57, 58s. Well, let's call it 55 here. That's pretty much where it's at. So 65, 55, 40, or 50, 40, and 30. So looking to buy against support all the way down here to the 30 or 40s. Looking to sell strength all the way up here to the 95s. Maybe include the 6805s. I'm going to be adjusting this to one edge up here. But that's pretty much where we're at. So no reason to be aggressive one way or the other. Just trade as a range band market going into this Friday, and then let's see how this whole thing shakes out. Now, we do have Columbus Day coming up on Monday. I don't know if banks and stuff are closed, but the look like the CME doesn't have anything for it, so it's going to be a regular trading day. So as far as I can tell. All right, so there you have it. So looking at range bound trading for the ES going into the overnight. No trades on the ES for me today. Looking at the bonds and the Nasdaq. I did take no trades on the bonds though. That's been twisting in the wind here sideways, so I haven't done anything on the bonds. Just trade that as a range bound market, same exact analysis as going into today's trading. The levels right now is 1616, 1612 down to the 1605s. You can look for shorts against the 1630s, the 1706s, and 1710s for rotations back down again. Pretty straightforward, just range bound trading on the bonds. Nasdaq also a little bit of a disappointment. They could not hold on to their gains. They nice little extension going into yesterday's close, but then they gave it all back up again. They did not take out this 170 support there. They did probe it in J period, and they looked to me like they had a shot at taking that lower, but they promptly reversed it, and that right back up to the highs here again, or at least to the upper level, to the 260, 270s. And I'm thinking if they close above that 270, 280s, that volume edge, and start trading up here, we may actually start off on the long side on the, well, maybe not long side, but looking for early strength on the Nasdaq, see if they can take it higher. So that's kind of the dynamic on that. It depends on where they close. If they close above that volume edge at the 270s, probably start looking for early strength. If not, just start range bound. I did take two trades on the Nasdaq. They were right here when they were down here at the lows. So they were down here. The first retest didn't do much, popped. The second time they came down, I was looking more for this retest to hold, and I'm figuring that they're just running out the week longs here. So when they start trading below that rotation, I got long fairly aggressively. Found myself having to fade immediate heat, and then I figured, okay, so that's not going to happen. So third time to the level is maybe what this is then. So I just got out of that trade. That was a quick in and out. Then when they started taking it lower on that first retracement, I got short reasonably aggressively and got into a nice trade. This was actually $100 trade when it was down here. I was holding out for the extension down here to that pink line, which is the 100% extension. Tightened up my stop in the last last update, and you can see what happened. They ran it up here. They hit my stop, and I was like, oh dang. And then they kept going. So that's why I tightened up my stop like that. Instead of trying to be cute and re-engage it, they just took it higher. They pretty much never came back again. They just kind of started twisting this right back up again. So getting longer down here would have been a great trade against that support area, but and you had a shot at it. So if you weren't in a short trade here, getting long against this area, maybe with a reasonably tight stop would have been a potential trade. But this is not easy to trade because you're going to have to pretty much step in front of it when it's not going lower. And it's not easy by any means to, when it's moving down like it, you almost like you want to get short on this pullback for rotations down again. But you know how it's going to go. Once, eventually, they're going to reverse it on you. And the point here is really that you were at support already. So that's why you would potentially thinking about the long trade here. They're running the stops above the obvious, and then they fail and then snaps back pretty good. My short was before that they got that far. So I sat in that thing while it seems they're going to try to run out that lower end of the range. So anyway, so two trades, $41 on that, and I did not re-engage it after that. I was just seeing if this little retracement is going to turn into something, and it looks like it did. They're back to the mean right now, and then some. Finally, oil and gold, and look at gold melting down. Man, that is one heck of a rundown to 39.60s from 46 to almost $100 to the downside. Now they're retracing a little bit. And if I were guessing, I would probably think that they're going to end up around about at 4,000. Okay? So that is what that feels like. It's a pretty crazy run. So on the F1, you can see here, they ran it all the way up into 4,070s, and they overshot that 4,000 quite a bit. Then they had a hard retracement right back to that lower value range at the 39.60s. Now they're heading right back up to the 4,000. So chances are we're going to go back and forth and probably find value around about 4,000 somewhere, and it's going to go sideways for a bit. That would be my guess, given what's happened today. I'm not going to think further retracement right now. I think they ran out of gas on the downside. It could certainly take it lower, but probably not right now. But I would more look for that retracement trade, close this H prints all the way up here to that 4,020s, and then see what happens after that. So looking for some early strength on the gold, but with some caution because this is pretty freaking volatile. And then oil backed off quite a bit. They're down here to that 61 level again. And let's see if they can potentially take this lower. So a nice move to the downside on oil, most likely because of this Middle East situation. So thinking that there's risk premium on oil is going away, at least minimizing or getting smaller. So watch this lower edge now, the 61.20. That comes out of that one, trade below it. We may certainly see a nice move to the downside, but I would look to sell strength against that 61.50s, against the 61.80s, maybe up to that 62 as well for rotations down. So that's oil. No trades on oil or gold today at all. Just two trades on the Nasdaq, so about $40 on that, and that's about it. Alrighty, guys, I'll leave it there. I'll see you back at see you back bright and early tomorrow. It's Friday, so yay. Alrighty, guys, later.